Anybody feel like volunteering tonight to light candles or make Kiddush? Maybe somebody who's not here like every single week, who some of you hasn't done it in a while? Who wants to light candles tonight? Okay. Okay, Elliot's going to light the candles. Who wants to say the Kiddush? Anybody want to volunteer for that? Okay, Bruce, you can do it. All right, come on up, Elliot. So usually we do this English reading, and then you can light the candles.
I do the reading?
You do the reading, yeah.
Okay. As the Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, this is why I didn't.
I know.
So may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Right.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshonu b'mitzvoto b'tzivonu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
All right, we're going to continue with Hillel Ratzabi's 18 Shabbat blessings for peace in Israel and Palestine. May this light embrace all who are suffering through war. May this light spread and reach toward the hostages and their families, wrapping them in a protective embrace. May this light illuminate paths of safety and shelter for the people of Gaza. May this light shatter barriers, separating food and aid from innocent civilians. May this light open space for the people of Israel and of Palestine to process their grief and anxiety. May this light break open the barriers in our hearts. May this light soften anger and fear. May this light erase thoughts of revenge. May this light give us strength to stand up against extremists in power. May this light hold gently the traumas of our past and the traumas of our present. May all the people who call Israel and Palestine their home come together to grieve and witness each other's pain. May we transform our grief into solidarity. May our solidarity pave the way for a shared future. May we nurture the divine spark in ourselves. May that spark shine out to include our families, friends, neighbors, and all who live on earth. May the divine light from before creation inspire us to choose life. May this light empower us to build the future we want to see. May this light guide us on the path toward healing and peace. All right, come on up. All right. Grab the... Yes. Very important.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei Pri Hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kadsho b'ahava uvratzon hinhilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom tehila l'mikrade kodesh Zeher Litziat Mitzrayim Kivanu Baharta Vyotanu Kidashta Mikol Hamim V'Shabbat Kadshecha V'Ahavat Uvratzon Hinhaltanu Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh Shabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim. Thank you. Yashko. Folks, let's continue. We're going to read together on page 127. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in darkness, for Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. Page 138. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha dodi likrat kala, la la la, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem multiferet, V'eliti lalecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha dodi likrat kala, la la la, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nilcha, Ki mekor haberacha, Merosh mikedem nesucha, Sof maseh v'machasha v'techila, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha dodi likrat kala, la la la, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Mikdash melech, ir melucha, kumitzai mitocha hafecha, Rav lach shevet be'emek abacha, V'hu yachamol alaykem lalecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha dodi likrat kala, la la la, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Yamin u'smol tifrotzi, ve'et Adonai taritzi, ayad ish ben partzi, v'nismecha, v'nagila lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha dodi likrat kala, la la la, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam besimcha uvetzola, Toch emunei am segula, Boi chala lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha dodi likrat kala, la la la, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. All right, if you're in the book where Yedid Nefesh is on page 636. Yedid Nefesh, Yadadai Avarahaman, Meshoch Avdecha, El Retzonecha, Yarutz Avdecha Kemo Hayal, Yishtachave El Mul HaTorecha, Yiravlo, Yedidutecha, Minov Etzuf, Mechol Taham, Adonai Yadadai Ziv Olam, Nafshi Cholat Avatecha, Anoil Narefah Nahalo, Meharod La Noam Zibecha, As titchazek v'tidrapeh v'hayta שמחת עולם, ותיקי האמונה, ידעי רחמך, והוזנה בין אהובך, כי זה כמה נכסוף, לראות בתפארת עוזך, ענה אלי חמדת ליבי, הוזנה ואל תתעלם, יגאלנה, ידי יפרוס חביב עלי, את סוכת שלומך, תאיר ארץ מכבודך, נגילה ונשמחה בך, מהר אהוב כי במועד, וכוננו כי מעולם. Yadadai da da da, yadadai da da da, yadadai da 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 da, yadadai da da da, yadadai da da da, yadadai da 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 da, yadadai da da da, yadadai da da da, yadadai da 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 da, yadadai da da da, yadadai da da da, yadadai da 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 da. Going to turn back to page 140 for Psalm 92, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, Tov Lehodot L'Adonai, Ulzamer L'Shimcha Elyon, Ulzamer L'Shimcha Elyon. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בחינוך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שמחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידך רנן. מה גודלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. All right, I'm going to turn to page 142 now for Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzitchem l'shalom malachei Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All right, we're going to turn to page 145 now. Let's read together in English. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence. Let's turn to page 146. Please rise with me if you're able and comfortable doing so for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. All right, please feel free to have a seat. And let's continue. We'll read together on page 149. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim. Page 150. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Halkin Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu uvkumenu, nasiach bechukecha, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. All right, let's turn to page 152 now, and again we will rise, if you're able and comfortable doing so, for the opening of the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Vahed. All right, feel free to have a seat, and we will continue on 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol miodecha, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Let's read on page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Page 158. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef ele, malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze lianu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, v'nemar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov, u'ge'alom yad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Let's read together on page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Let's turn to page 162. Yismechu v'malchutcha shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg hamikadeshei shvi kulam yisbeu ve'yitangu mituvecha Yismechu v'malchutcha shomrei Shabbat v'korei oneg hamikadeshei shvi kulam yisbeu ve'yitangu mituvecha. All right, we're going to turn to page 164 now. Please rise if you're able and comfortable doing so for the beginning of the Amidah. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 166. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei HaKol, v'Zocher Chastei Avot ve'Imahot, Umevig geula livnei v'neihem leman shemo b'ahava. Melech ozer u'moshia u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai magen Avraham v'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai mechaye metim atah rav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechaye metim berachamim rabim, somech noflim verofeh cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha bal gevurot, Umido melach מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. Please feel free to have a seat if you'd like. And we will read together on page 171. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illuminates the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed. And we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Let's read together on 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai b'kadesh haShabbat. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu ya'aleh v'yavo v'yizacher zichronenu v'zichron kol amcha beit Yisrael lefanecha לטובה, לחן, לחסד, לרחמים, לחיים ולשלום ביום חג המצות הזה. Our God and God of our fathers and mothers, on Pesach be mindful of us and all your people Israel, for good, for love, for compassion, for life, and for peace. ותחזן עינינו בשובך לציון ברחמים, ברוך אתה אדוני המחזיר שכינתו לציון. All right, we're going to turn to page 176 now. And as we do for the Hoda'ah blessing, we're going to give people a chance to voice something they're feeling grateful about. So we'll start by reading in English at the top, and then if you'd like to share something, just raise your hand. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. All right, Holly.
I'm very grateful that even though my health condition right now did not allow me to attend a Seder at friends' houses or with the community, that my friends provided me with food, and I was able to sit and have a little miniature Seder with my daughter. So I was able to fulfill my obligations, tell the story, have matzah, etc. So I'm very grateful to people for helping me out with that. So thank you.
I'm glad to hear that, Holly. Thank you.
I want to just say how nice I thought the Seder here was yesterday, and being with the community, people from Temple Concord and people from the greater community, and even from out of town, made it very joyous and wonderful. And Rabbi, thank you for your part in it and everyone who helped.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roz. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say the same thing.
Anne Marie says, I'm thankful that my knee is healing nicely and that my range of motion has improved better than expected, and that my knee surgeon gave me a chance even though the chances weren't great.
I agree with those who were able to attend the Seder. It was very nice, and I was grateful that I could be part of it.
Thank you. Anybody else we're missing? All right. Baruch atah Adonai atov shimcha uchana'eh lehodot. Let's turn to page 179. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. We'll take a moment now for our own personal prayers and reflections. Ose shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ose shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imeru amin. All right, we're going to turn forward to page 371 now for our Misha Berach for healing. This week we are praying for Raphael Alieri, Kathleen Al-Jalad, Terry Bennett, Elsie Deutsch, Betty Doer, Llewellyn Egan, Lee Foreman, Sandy Foreman, Robin Haas, Sharon Kirshheimer, Holly Levine, Judy Licht, Tony Lindley, Mike Martinez, Leah Mead, John Muller, Rowan Nociolino, Clara Noldi, Jeremy Orden, Manny Orden, Lurleen Pera, Reagan Phillips, Grayson Porter, Evelyn Rybel, Bryce Schmidt, Sherry Schwartz, Shmuel Emmett Ruvain Mibet Avraham Vasara, Orly Shoer, Jennifer Stile, Liz Sussman, Rabbi Lance Sussman, Timothy Swindell, Elena Witter, and Gil Williams. And if you'd like to share someone else's name for our healing prayers tonight, just raise your hand.
Elvin Bar Shmuel, Emmett Ruvain, and Tony DiGirolamo.
Thank you.
My sister, Robin Orden.
Thank you. Mishebeirach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishebeirach imotenu, mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Praying for a refuah and shlema, a complete and speedy recovery to all those that we're holding in our hearts this evening. All right. I'm going to take a moment now, turn off the screen share here, to share a few words of Torah with you. Hey, come on. So, Ross and I prepared a little thing tonight, and what we decided to share with you, I'm calling by the title, Why We Boil the Dishes for Passover. This year, as on all other years, in the days leading up to Passover, Ross and I were very busy making our kitchen ready for the festival. Aside from the general cleaning and rearranging and the clearing out of foods designated as chametz and the sale of those foods, this involves kashering pots and pans and dishes which we will be needing and for which we don't possess duplicates specifically set aside for Pesach. That process involves boiling a large pot of water and immersing the already clean item first on one side and then on the other so that the boiling water has been in contact with every part of its surface. This is also a process we go through with some assistance from members of this congregation in the temple kitchen. And in attending to this, I have occasionally been asked, why? Why is it necessary to do this? The simplest answer is that this is the method which Jewish tradition has established for the kashering of dishes. But the deeper answer is somewhat more complex than that. And here is one such answer. For me, Judaism is quintessentially diasporic culture. Throughout the several millennia of Jewish existence, we have made a number of experiments at territoriality, at basing our national existence and our national identity on territory. But all too often, these efforts to base Jewish identity on territory have failed, resulting in a catastrophic loss of connection with the values and ideals that make Jewish life worth living. Conversely, the periods of greatest Jewish vitality and creativity, the periods that have really shaped and defined who we are as a people, have been those marked by exile and diaspora. For a diasporic people, identity is not shaped by land, but by culture. That which binds us together and defines who we are is Jewish culture. Or in other words, Torah, in its most expansive definition. In a very real sense, Torah is the real eternal homeland of the Jewish people. The home that has accompanied us on all of our wanderings and given us a sense of place in every place where we have found ourselves. We boil our dishes on Passover and engage with many other traditional Jewish practices in conversation with the halakha as a way of staying embedded in our homeland, in Torah, the mobile cultural nexus of the Jewish people. This is the medium which grounds my identity and my sense of belonging, and through which I encounter God. These connections work the way they do, not despite, but precisely because the practices have no meaning outside the frame of reference of the tradition itself. Just as there's no objective scientific test to determine whether something is pure or impure, so too there is no such test to determine whether a dish is kosher or unkosher. These stakes are established and defined by the cultural system that gives them meaning. By engaging with them, I become a part of that system, and this is something which gives my life meaning. In the realm of ideas, the understanding of the universal is always arising out of the particular. I believe that Judaism, when properly understood in a universalistic spirit, has much to teach the world. But that teaching can only emerge from the womb of the particular practices and ideas generated by this particular Jewish people. You can't leapfrog over the necessity of culture in order to arrive at the universal. And that is why I boil the dishes for Pesach.
As the plates emerge gleaming and steam rises from the very large pot on the stove that has taken a good while to reach the boiling point, I arrive at Passover. The process of giving over, or shall I say passing over to God, all that which is no longer serving me, that has built up within me, within my mind, and within my heart, has begun. With each dip of each dish, I am, in my heart, cleansing myself. I am working on softening and sloughing off all of the cruft, As I transform my dishes from kol, or everyday dishes, to kosher for Passover dishes by immersing them in boiling water, I am also ritually transforming myself. When I shift my dishes into their new state of being, I can think of this act as a basis for transformation itself. Transformation, especially ritual transformation, can be a powerful act. As a transgender person, I have undergone a transformation. I have struck out on a new path. My desire to become a Jew led to yet another transformation, the biggest one of my life. But a person does not have to be transgender or a convert to be able to relate to the need or desire to reinvent the self. Any experience of someone needing or wanting to strike out on a new path, perhaps an unexpected path, is an act of transformation. The lives of immigrants are full of transformation, as are the lives of former convicts re-entering the community, and even of people returning to work and life after seeking treatment or after staying home to care for children or parents or ailing loved ones. All of these experiences can occasion a reinvention of the self. But most transformations are not without effort and not without risk. Kashering dishes in boiling water involves both fire, a sacred but dangerous element, and water, an essential nutrient without which we can't survive but for a few days. It involves a small element of risk. But combining these elements and immersing our dishes like a miniature mikveh serves for me as the basis, the plate, the foundation upon which I want to build myself anew. Other transformations, such as gender transitions, religious conversions, immigration, re-entering society after a period away for whatever reason, all can involve an element of risk. Transformation is uncomfortable. Transformation involves traversing the often dangerous, sometimes awkward, liminal space between one state of being and another, the space between who we are and who we want to be. But it is through that transformation that we can grow. Marking transformations in life in a ritual manner is very meaningful for me. The physical act of cleansing, be that ritually immersing my dishes in boiling water in preparation for Passover, or ritually immersing in the mikveh for my conversion, or other means of ritual cleansing, is my cue to myself to let go. It is my cue to pause, to take stock, and then to let go of that which I want to leave behind. Perhaps I'm letting go of the old hurts, the unhealthy coping mechanisms, unhelpful thought patterns, and letting them slide off me and dissipate. Letting them be neutralized and released. Letting a new healthy skin of my spirit be revealed in all its bright spring freshness and waken up. Allowing my revitalized spirit to be prodded out of its sleepy, wintry stupor and rediscover its zest for life. I'm inviting my spirit and my senses to be energized at the Seder served on my freshly kasher dishes when I taste the bitter herbs again, when I tear up from the horseradish again, and when I hear the snap of the afikomen breaking once again.
So we've explored a couple of themes, two different themes here. One of them is transformation, moving from one state, one way of being to another. And the other is connection, finding a way in to be connected and grounded with the context, with the meaning that gives our life a sense of purpose. So the question for tonight to think about is, how do these themes resonate with you? either the theme of transformation, right, or the theme of connection. And where have you felt the need for connection or transformation in your life? Or how do you reach these states of being when you needed them?
I think Passover, especially the Seders, bring us together with family and friends, and that's a big connection.
Absolutely. Thank you. I think I saw Elliot's hand up. Hey, Rachel? Oh, okay.
People who make significant transformations are fortunate to have the luxury of being able to choose those transformations. Some people have transformations forced on them and don't have receptive audiences or even receptive families to help them as a support network.
That's true. Thank you. Holly.
I was struck when you were talking, Rabbi, just about, the connections and the traditions. Because in Reform Judaism, Reform Jews don't generally keep kosher. Reform Jews don't generally put on tefillin. There's a lot of things that are, tied to tradition that Reform Jews don't generally choose to do. And that's I think one of the things that attracts a lot of people to Reform Judaism is that it's not so bound in those customs, yet there's still a tie to, carrying on some traditions in certain ways, like having a Seder. I think most Jews go to a Seder. I think it's the most attended event. But I don't know. I was just kind of struck by the idea of koshering the dishes, which honestly you can't put to kosher ceramic. You can't put it in boiling water. It doesn't work that way. But it's okay. It's just if that's what works for you psychologically, that's fine. But it was interesting to think about it in context of Reform Judaism.
I'm not seeing any other hands up. So thank you very much, folks, for your comments. And we're going to continue on back in the Siddur. All right, we're going to turn to page 587. And I'll invite you to rise if you're able and comfortable doing so. Does somebody want to come up and open the ark for us? All right, come on up. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tikdu liotzer b'reshit, shehu sam chalkeinu liachel et shemo, v'gor aleinu lamlich malchuto, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Feel free to have a seat. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו echad. All right, folks, the Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598. We are currently in mourning the deaths of Lori Marcello, of Anne Suskind, and Lawrence Roof. And we are remembering the yahrzeits of Judy Klotzkin, Anita Rita Levitman, Julius Shabbos, Nancy Price, Stanley Blum, Neil Gabay, Ray Lieberman, Abraham Fink, Max Kimmelman, and Adele Cohn. Please rise if you're able and comfortable for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabba, Be'alma divrach hirute v'yamlik malchute, B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach le'alam ulomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da miran be'alma ve'imru amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. May their memories be for a blessing. All right, folks, feel free to have a seat for a moment. So, we have a couple things coming up in the coming week. So, one thing that I do want to mention, because the email got out fairly late in the day today, is that the funeral for Lori Marcello will be happening in this coming Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. The information for that is in an email that the congregation sent out. You can take a look at it whenever you take a look at it, but I wanted to notify people of that because it got sent out at kind of an odd time, kind of a little bit later in the afternoon, and I just wanted to make sure that people saw it. Other stuff coming up in the coming week are, we've got the morning book club also on Tuesday. There will be a morning service with Yizkor on the last day of Pesach according to the Reform calendar, which is on Wednesday morning. That will be at 10 a.m. There will be a sisterhood meeting, which I guess is at 7 p.m. on Wednesday as well. And then the Social Action Committee meeting is on Thursday at 7 p.m. For all other information about upcoming stuff at Temple Concord, as usual, take a look at the emails that we send out every week and every month. But we'll be finishing up here on page 625 with Adon Olam. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra leit nasa v'chefzo kol azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hove ve'hu yeh betifara ve'hu echad ve'en sheni lehamshilo leachbira beli reshit beli tachlit ve'lo haoz ve'hamisra ve'hu eli ve'chai goali ve'tzur chavli ve'yetzara ve'hu nisi umanos li menat kosi beyom ekra beyado afkid ruchi beyetishan ve'yaira ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li ve'lo ira. folks. We're going to wrap it up there. There we go. Hamotzi lachem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen. All right. And before I lose you, we head back into the social hall for food. The very last thing we're going to do now that we're finished with services is we're going to count the second day of the Omer.
Yeah.
So, where'd my thing go? Hit the wrong button. There we go. Excellent. Okay, I want to get it on the screen there for everybody. And for folks who are with us on Zoom. There we go. So today is Yom Sheni of the Omer. So we're going to recite the blessing up at the top, and then we will count the number on the bottom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haomer. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who sanctifies us with mitzvot and commands us concerning the counting of the Omer. Hayom Shenei Yamim LaOmer. Today is 2 days of the Omer. All right, here we go. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and I'll see you in the social hall.
Shabbat Shalom. Susan, how are you?